Hello, welcome to Souls Intersect. This reading is for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising signs, and it is for the month of June 2017. If you're interested in a private reading with me, feel free to email me at soulsintersect@gmail.com, or you can book directly through my site, and the address is below. You might have to copy and paste it. There are also links below to other parts of my site describing my readings and my approach, and I invite you to take a look. My approach is different from a lot of readers. I'm an intuitive reader, and I actually rely on that first and foremost. The cards for me frame the reading more so, or sometimes act as triggers or prompts for messages. And I also offer past life readings, and those are described on my site as well, and there's a link to a YouTube video where I give a sample one. I've reduced those to $35 each. Okay, so I'm going to read through the cards and then I'll tune in. So from the top left, you have the Six of Cups, the Knight of Wands, and the Moon. In the center, the Four of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles. And on the bottom, the Eight of Swords, the Ten of Cups, and the Five of Cups. Lots of cups and water energy, but matched with some really important Pentacles cards, especially since the Five of Pentacles is at the center next to this Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so this Five of Pentacles is feeling to me more like it's referencing a situation in the past. I see it linking to this Six of Cups. Some of it still lingers, so I get the sense that there are a couple of kinds of blocks that a lot of you have been experiencing. Maybe one is in relation to Pentacles type stuff, work and home, finances, feeling established, feeling stable in that realm, and secure, and also emotional. But it feels more like about feeling satisfied emotionally, not so much feeling unhappy emotionally. So some of these cards can indicate the more unhappy side with the Five, the Four, and also the Moon even. But I feel like with the 10 being present, it's also, well, that it's kind of complementing it in a way where it feels to me like it has to do more with emotional fulfillment. So my sense is that there are a number of you feeling like blocks, especially with this Eight of Swords, blocks in those two realms, emotional fulfillment and, let's say, financial or work fulfillment. I see that these are things that you are meant to be processing at this time, that you're going through shifts with both of these things to get to a better place. For example, to be in a job that is better for you, or to be with a person who is better for you than you have in the past. The Six and the Moon can often be calls to delve more into subconscious and past emotional stuff. But I feel like you've been doing that a lot lately already. Some of that I'm saying because of Sagittarians I know you have had Saturn in your sign for a couple of years now. So I know, and before that it was in Scorpio, which is in your 10th house, which is hidden things, a time when many of you may have retreated and delved into spiritual beliefs and understanding yourself more, deeper things that we keep hidden oftentimes. So that's been years. I know you've been processing this stuff already. So what I'm seeing more with this reading is those things are popping up, but I'm seeing it as very positive. Like, it's showing me that the shifts are passing, that you've successfully been processing these things. But they're coming up to indicate that, well, that first of all, that you have been successful, but also just to signal what to look out for in terms of changes. Especially with the Fives. Because it feels like, in other words, it feels like this is the turning point. And to be aware but definitely acknowledgement that you've been working through those things. You've been perceiving them as blocks, and there's some self-blame happening there. They kind of were blocks, but they're not blocks. Like sometimes people who do spiritual work can contort things a little bit, in my opinion, to make it sound like everyone can manifest anything they want, and if you're not doing it, you're doing something wrong, and I don't believe that at all. I think that there's a difference between our perceptions and what we want to manifest sometimes. I apologize, there's a ringing in the background. I'm not sure what that is. So, it felt like a block to you, but it's not like you were doing something wrong. That's not how I see it. It was only a block in the sense that it was meant to slow things down a little bit so you could do this processing. And that's what Saturn is all about. This has been a big time for Sagittarians in particular, out of the 12 signs, because it was in the 10th and then the first house. And you can read about that online if you're not aware already. It's really important to all of your, especially if Saturn is your sun sign, your life over the past few years. And there's only a few more weeks of that, or a few more months. Okay. So now more specifically, getting down to the nitty-gritty of it, I do feel there are two big signals here. This Ace of Pentacles and this Knight of Wands, they feel like new changes. I'm almost seeing this Knight of Wands as like an Ace of Wands, but it feels like it's a knight because I think it's representing a person. So this could be someone coming into your life to spark things, to help more with that emotional fulfillment, to help catapult you out of this rut, or what has felt like a rut. It's in the same column as this 10 of Cups and the 5 of Pentacles. And the 5 of Pentacles is pentacles, but it can also be that sense of loneliness at times too. This is someone with a very passionate energy. They could be a fire sign, but not necessarily. That's actually rarely the case for me. Sometimes that lines up, but more than likely it has to do with passion and creativity, the spiritual connection you have to them, or their sense of spirituality. It can even be kind of literal things, like I've had it come to represent someone who is good as a talented marksman, for example, that kind of fire. So something like that. Things like that might help you to understand who it might represent. But it does feel like someone coming into your life maybe has already entered into your life, and it's such a different energy from all of these cups surrounding it, and even that 5 of Pentacles. So it feels like it's one of those signals that things are shifting, and this person is going to be part of that. The Ace of Pentacles this Ace of Pentacles especially is very calm. It's like you can feel like you're right down at that earth level with this creature and the leaves, and it's very grounding. So I feel like this is also a trigger of getting out of this 5 of Pentacles state and this 4 of Cups that's in the same row as well, to a new job, for example, or a new state of being financially, a better way, like you developing better ways to save, manage finances. And it might not only be money related. It can also be a new project that you're working on, or a new home as well. But it doesn't feel as much about the circumstances to me as the state of being, your approach to those things, your approach to feeling stable and secure. I also feel like for some of you, it might not even be a change in like how much money you have or the work that you do, but you've adapted in some ways, and then it's also your perceptions have adapted. So it might feel like a shift, even if nothing logistical has shifted too much, but there are going to be some logistical shifts for many of you. Okay. And finally, I really feel like this 10 of Cups is very important to the reading, because it's also a card that seems to contrast a lot of this other energy. The 6 of Cups can be a very pleasant energy, but I feel like it's more in this reading about the triggers for some of this emotional and earth energy related stuff. My sense overall is that greater fulfillment is awaiting you, and I'm just getting a really strong nod from the universe about the work that you've been doing and how it's helped you, and that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. That's the kind of energy I'm getting with this reading overall, and especially this 10 of Cups. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up here. I apologize for any background noise. I didn't want to stop because it was a really powerful reading coming through. If you have any questions about it, feel free to email me or comment below. Take care and have a great month of June.